My name's Just Incredible, and I am not homeless.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Keep on rocking in the free world!
What's up, everyone? It's homeless Just Incredible here, checking in. Haha, just kidding. Listen, are you sick of that label? Hearing it, not so much from fellow citizens, but more from mainstream media. The word homeless, like it is the opposite of RV dwellers. Literally, the opposite. I'm just a regular guy living a regular life just like anyone else in this city. I work a full-time job. I like to go camping on the islands on the weekends. I like to go skiing. I like to go target shooting.
Oh my fucking god.
I mean, I have the same hobbies and aspirations as a lot of other people do. Just because I happen to want to live in a motorhome doesn't change any real aspects of my life. That, to me, RV life means life. It's just regular life. I know some people like to say, well, I'm not homeless, I'm just houseless. Well, even that's not true. This motorhome is my house. In fact, the legal definition in pretty much all legislation, ordinances, bylaws, street and traffic laws, the legal definition of an RV, a motorhome, or a trailer is called a house car. It's been like that since the turn of the century when the first house cars were on the roads. And whether you call it a house car or a motorhome is irrelevant. It's still a house. It's a house on wheels. So you have a house. You have a home if you're living in a motorhome. And this incessant labeling by media of calling people that live in RVs as homeless. Now, not always. As you know, all of you who follow this channel know I've been on the news many times. And all of the media stories that I've done with the media have been generally very positive articles and news reports about how a huge chunk of us choose this lifestyle because of all the benefits it has, the freedom it gives us. For all the reasons that I explain on this channel over and over why I do this, I'm not the only one. There are thousands of people who choose this lifestyle for the same reasons I do, whether they're traveling or whether they live in the city like I do. Why do we get called homeless? Is this some sort of thing, if you don't have a fixed address that you go to every single night, that you must be homeless? Do people that live on yachts get called homeless? Like, I don't understand. What's the difference? Your house is just built a little differently. I don't have a concrete foundation under my house. I have rubber. So what? It's still a house. Don't care what you want to call it, it's still a house. And I don't think size makes a difference. My God, there are micro apartments popping up in major cities all over the place. And look in Japan. They have micro apartments already widespread there, which have pretty much the same square footage as a lot of motorhomes have. But they're not called homeless. So I don't think it has anything to do with size. I don't get it, guys. I really don't get it. But if anything, I would say that the definition of homeless would be somebody who doesn't have a place, doesn't have a roof over their head. Those that live in RVs, like around a city like this, there's so many of them. I would say that they're less close to being homeless than probably hundreds of thousands of people who are one paycheck away from actually physically being on the street because they can't pay their rent for the privilege of sleeping in someone else's home. If you're renting a place, you don't have a home. You're paying for the privilege of sleeping in someone else's home. At least we own our homes. So if anybody is closer to homeless, it's people that rent. It's people that are one check away from losing their home. So that whole perception to me is completely twisted. If anything, people living in their RVs are homeowners, which is 2 steps above homeless. You're above the renters and you're definitely a step above those who are renting and can barely make ends meet and are living on Mr. Noodles just to get through the month. I mean, seriously. It's unfathomable that somebody would label somebody that owns their own home, whether it be an RV, a boat, whatever, as being quote-unquote homeless. It's just so absurd. And I really wonder where that comes from. I think it really is the mass media who don't spin the positive stories, the negative stories that pop up once in a while. I hear it's a lot more prevalent south of the border in the US. And you know what it's from? It's from all of the negative stories that's caused by the small percentage of people that live in RVs who give us all a bad name. The people that squat in one place for days on end, and in some cases for weeks and months on end, and then they wonder why we get a bad rap. But you know what? Unfortunately, the media, just like anything else, they're there to sell sensationalism, and they're there to sell headlines, and it's clickbait. And they don't report on the rest of us. They'll report on the cluster of rundown RVs with tarps on the roof that never move, and call them a bunch of homeless bums. Yes, there are some people like that, but let me tell you, I worked for a company where my job involved a lot of driving to customers' homes, whether that be apartments or houses, doesn't matter, and setting up equipment in their homes. And day after day, I would go to some people's houses and be absolutely disgusted by what I saw. Some people are absolutely disgusting. Yet they have apartments or houses and they're renting, or they're subsidized because they're on welfare and the government's paying for it. I believe that a lot of people that have their housing paid for them by taxpayers, well, because they're not paying for it, they don't care as much, and they live in disgusting conditions. Not all, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but I saw this daily. We'd walk into customers' apartments and be just turned right off by it. Like, it's absolutely disgusting how people would live, and I felt so glad that after work I could go back to my nice, clean motorhome and be so thankful that I'm not living in rundown apartments like what I saw daily. So there are different classes of people in all living situations. There are people that live in motorhomes that are slobs and they don't take care of their homes, and they're messy and they make a mess and they're eyesores. Well, exactly the same thing is true for people that live in houses and apartments all over every city, anywhere on the planet. However, the media only focuses on that one class of RV dwellers, and it gives us all a bad name. And that's why I'm always on this channel preaching about this. And you know what? I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'll make a video every month if I have to, and repeat myself over and over. If you're living in an RV, and you're watching this channel right now, and you're a city dweller like I am, for the love of God, take care of your vehicle and move. Don't sit in the same place day after day after day. You're causing problems for everyone else, and you're giving us all a bad name. There's no two ways about it. No, it is not your right to park on a public street and live there. Like that whole attitude, oh, it's my right, I can stay here. You know, fuck the man. Well, that attitude is what brings us all problems. So seriously, cut it out. If you just want to sit in one place all the time, why the hell did you buy a house with a steering wheel in the living room and wheels underneath it? Seriously. You're not paying the insane rents in a city like this. There should be no reason why you can't afford to drive it around every once in a while. Like, move your vehicle. Yes, there are some people in dire straits. They lost their jobs or whatever, and maybe their vehicle is not mechanically sound or whatever. Yes, there's exceptions to every rule, but not the vast majority of you. You can move your vehicles. Now, I'm going to say that for the most part, people are really good. I would say a good 70 to 80% of the people in this city living in RVs, they have jobs. They work day to day just like I do, and they move their rigs around all the time. And I know this because I see the same rigs all over different parts of the cities from day to day. They move around just like I do. And they're really embracing the lifestyle and all the benefits it has. But then there's the ones, you know, where I'll drive down a street and I'll see them there weeks later. I'll see them there again, and I'll see them there again. And it's just like, I'll see the same people in the same place weeks and weeks and weeks on end, and then all of a sudden the news cameras show up, and we're getting a bad rap all across the city because of you. Sorry, but I don't have any sympathy for people that complain about getting ticketed and hassled if they just sit in one place, they let their vehicle rot away, and they never move. And you know what? I support the city and the police for going after these people and ticketing them and towing them. I'm sorry, but I support it. Maybe that'll teach them to move around. You've got to move around. Stop doing that, guys. I've been doing this for over 17 years. You know why I don't get hassled? Because I take care of my vehicle, because I move around, because I don't make a mess. It's really that simple. It's common sense. So, I mean, learn it. Come on, guys and gals. It's not hard. Let's be honest, everyone. What we're doing is a privilege. Yes, you have a right to live in your RV, but that doesn't mean you have a right to take up taxpayer-paid-for public parking spots wherever you feel like. And that doesn't mean you get to break the time limit bylaws and parking restrictions that everyone else has to abide by. And you've got to put yourself in the shoes of sticks and bricks homeowners around the city that also pay taxes, pay a lot more than we do. Now, I'm not saying that we don't pay our fair share. In fact, I think that for the amount of space and resources that the average van dweller uses, we probably pay more taxes than we should. So just understand where I'm coming from. I also have common sense. And if you park your rig across from a house, you've got to put yourself in their shoes. Sure, you might not be doing anything wrong, but they don't know that. Now, I'm not siding with sticks and bricks homeowners. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, come on, you've got to think like they do a little bit and understand their perceptions. Even if they're wrong and we're not doing anything wrong and we're no threat to the neighborhood, and even if you're perfectly clean and you take care of your vehicle, still, if it's limited parking, don't park on their street and take up their parking. And if you do park, don't stay for more than a day. Just move. It's really that easy. All right? Keep on rocking in the free world, everyone. And let's keep it free, okay? Cheers.
You're watching Just Incredible TV.
Want to see more? Become a patron and see exclusive content. Plus, see new, just incredible videos before anyone on YouTube. Head over to patreon.com/JCredTV and keep on rocking in the free world.